Welcome back, friends, to Max Q Barbecue. My name is Craig, and this is Season 3, Episode 15, How to Cut Up a Chicken. In this episode, we return to Greencastle, Pennsylvania, and Mason-Dixon Barbecue for the Ribs and Chicken Barbecue Camp. Let's go look in on Roger Martin as he demonstrates how to cut up a chicken into its various parts, wings, thighs, breast, and let's learn some great techniques for cutting up our chicken. So let's go look in on Roger Martin.
All right, cool.
Sure. Do you remember?
We're not going to cut our chicken down into pieces today. We're just going to spatchcock it.
Do you remember that I mentioned that where the meat bends, that is the joint, and it's showing itself off to you, and that's where you want to cut it? That's really true on a chicken. As a matter of fact, a chicken actually. Can you see that difference in color? You see that? That's where you're going to cut the skin. Right there it is. And same thing here. You see the difference in color? See where it bends? That's where you can cut. You don't have a saw again. So, you know, the poultry people have a toothless, looks like a skill saw. And it runs in a groove, and they just take this chicken and they go psst, like that, bang, bang, cut the chicken in half and all that on a boneless circular blade. So we're going to do it by hand. You can see the backbone. How wide is the backbone? About that wide. Can you see that? See how narrow the backbone is? If you can't get your backbone cut out, you're too wide. You cannot cut a wishbone with a knife. It is the hardest bone of the whole bird, and I don't know what it's used for as far as flying or whatever. There's another thing is, birds can fly because their bones are hollow, and it entirely lightens them up. Just like your cars used to be solid metals in the frame and all, now they're tubular and those kind of things. Take the weight off. So where it bends, that's where you cut. Where it bends, that's where you cut. See the joint? There's almost no cutting of the bone. I have a little cartilage piece right there, but that's what you want to do. The other reason why you want to do that, and you see I kind of cut out when I cut, because skin on the breast is very important. You know, we all buy boneless chicken breast. We buy boneless, skinless chicken breast, and then we try to put oil on and everything to replace the skin we just cut off. And we should leave the skin on. So at my house, we don't buy boneless, skinless chicken breast. We buy bone-in breast, and we debone it. So here again, remember I showed you that? Can you see it? Can you see it? Right there it is. And here also, that'll give you the right amount of skin on the breast, and it'll give you the right amount of skin on the thigh. So I don't care whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Can you hear that? Can you hear that break? It came out of the backbone, out of the socket, and this is the piece that he's talking about, the oyster. So you get all the meat off the backbone. You see how clean it is? You'll have to practice this. I'm just saying. Did you hear it?
I did.
Did you hear it? There is that thigh. Go ahead and break it out, because basically all the backbone's good for is soup.
Where's the oyster?
It's right up front here. It's this. There it is. It's this part right here that came off here.
No, you're fine.
You see it? And that is the oyster, and that's absolutely the best piece of the whole chicken. And lots of us leave it on the backbone and throw it in the soup stock. And it's kind of a shame to do that. So now look what's going to happen here. Another joint. Make it work. Don't cut the bones. Cut the ligament and the tendon. See the skin on that? I don't know if he still does it, but they do a muffin pan thing where you do this actually in a muffin pan so that it's shaped round and everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty? They're really pretty. I also debone those sometimes, and it's really nice at the eating time for it to be deboned. All right, it left a little bit of skin on both sides of the cavity, which is not helpful to you. I have 2 fingers, you can't see because of the glove, on the inside of the tail. Do you see it? And then I can just cut down on both sides. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I am not cutting into the backbone, but I'm cutting tight against the backbone. The backbone is that wide. That's how wide the backbone is. If you get wider than that, you will get into the area of the wishbone. You can't cut a wishbone with a knife. It's a really, really hard bone. So this centerpiece here is called a keel, like a keel on a ship. It's shaped like this. And we'll nick the cartilage at the front and break it out. You see it? By pushing on the backside. This one didn't come out close. Man, am I getting out of shape here, guys? You should be able to pull it from the front and pull it all the way out. My second one, this will work. I promise. This backbone, this keel bone broke, which they don't usually do that. So there's the keel of the ship, keel bone, and the wishbone comes into both sides here. There it is. I'm gonna take this one out on purpose. I don't generally do this stuff. I just want you to see how hard this bone is. There's of course one on each side like this, make a wish. That is a very, very hard bone. You cannot cut it with a knife. It will not cut. I'm going to show you something else that it's just handy for you at home, and that is, remember the wing left a hole in the meat where my thumb is coming through? You don't need a knife to make boneless chicken breast. You can start at the top end where the keel bone is.
But if you leave it inside your garage, can you find?
And pull the ribs off of the meat.
Wow.
Right?
And there's like no waste here. That's totally cool. And this doesn't have little cut marks all over it. You see it? So the wing through the hole through the wing, and literally just pull the rib bones off from the top sideways toward the bottom. Kind of handy, isn't it? And my chicken is not all cut up and nicked. So I'm going to show you why I did that. See all the skin still on the breast. So make sure we get in the middle. Cut through. Very useful. Now when you put that in the oven or in your smoker or on the frying pan, it has completely coverage of the skin. That's very valuable to have that skin coverage. Now there are people who do one other thing, and that is they saute onions and butter and poultry seasoning, and they put it on the inside of they put it in here on top of the meat, and then recover it like this with the skins. Now the seasoning is on the meat and not on the skin. Half of your guests are like, I don't eat the skin, and throw away your seasoning. Right, essentially they've gotten rid of what your value is. So anyway, so that's the other thing, and you can do that on thigh also. The thigh also can be removed from the one direction, spooned in and covered, and then when it's baked, the flavoring is all on the inside. Because a lot of your guests will not eat skin. They just say, I don't eat skin. So you go, oh, there went my cumin and my, all those, anyways. Don't say it. I know what you're thinking. Don't say it. I'm gonna.
Every time I watch Roger cut up a piece of meat, I learn so many things. And it doesn't matter how many times I watch the video, I still pick up new techniques on how to trim a piece of meat and how to be more effective in cutting up our chickens or briskets or ribs or whatever it is that we're going to be barbecuing. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.